opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer...
USA. Pick it up with Tillman. That's a good ball inside by him, but given away carelessly by McKennie, who puts up a hand in apology. Havertz can pick it up on this left-hand side. He's given a shove by Freeman, but keeps the ball. Sends it back to Musiala. Musiala now to Wirtz. Wirtz back to Havertz to the left of the penalty area. Now it has to go all the way back to Pavlovic. Pavlovic. And now Schlotterbeck. That's a good ball between the lines. Good play that. Sané teed it up. It's going to come to the left-hand side. Shot comes in. Sorry, to the right-hand side. Ballooned up off an American defender, who I think was Anthony Robinson. It's gone back to the midway point of the USA half. Germany have picked it up again. We have it with Musiala, who's relatively quiet so far in the game. Touch to his right. Metcha tries to run forward. Challenge came in from McKennie. Legal challenge, said the referee. America then have it on the far touchline. Germany put in the challenge and win the throw, much to Pulisic's incredulity. He thought the last touch came off the German defender. The replay was inconclusive, should we say. Feels that no contact was made on Kimmich and that he just threw himself on the floor. My view would be that there was a challenge on him from behind and it did make the merest contact, and Kimmich made plenty of it. Well, this is a very similar position to the free kick in the first half that Kimmich put into the box for Havertz to score. So we'll see if USA learnt any lessons from the last time and whether they can defend this one a little better. The top of Leroy Sané's right sock is split. I'm not sure whether that's a fashion statement or a challenge that he's undergone in the course of the game, but it certainly is split. I don't think it's a designer hole. This Sané having a go from the free kick, but got that all wrong. But he dinked it a bit like an 8 iron, and it carried too far. It sailed over the top of the crossbar. So we've played 9 minutes in the second half. USA 1, Germany 1 in this last international friendly for both sides before the World Cup begins. It begins very soon now. So, a free kick to Germany, just inside to America, just inside the German half. It was played forward, and Pulisic got the first touch on it, but it was a heavy touch off his knee, and the ball ran away from him. He couldn't keep hold of it. Unlucky. Germany have had only one loss in the last 21 against teams below them in the FIFA rankings. That's another reason why they were probably favourites going into this game. That one defeat was to Slovakia in 2023. And it's their only loss outside of Germany since the end of the loss to Slovakia in 2025, rather, is their only loss outside of Germany since the end of 2023. All played into the American penalty area. There was a couple of people sprawling, but nothing came of it. The ball was out on this near side. It's going to be a throw to the USA. It's inside their own half, about 3 or 4 yards inside their own half. Freeman will take it. Thrown in onto German head. 2 German players went for the same ball there, and it didn't work out very well for them. Kenny slides in, but beaten to the ball by Sané. Now the Mecha. Touch it back to Kimmich. Here's Pavlovic. Kimmich once more. Sends a diagonal ball out to the far touchline. Kai Havertz plays it back inside. Musiala, it's a good ball by him. Finds Havertz out on that right. Robinson goes to confront him. Played back to Nemecha. Musiala now on the edge. That's good ball from him again. Driven across the box by Nemecha. It's played out on the far side for a throw by the USA. That was good play, and Musiala was at the heart of it. He was the pivot in a couple of 1-2s there. Here he is again, playing a ball into the box to Havertz. Teed up, shot comes in, it's in! Leroy Sané has put Germany back in front. And that too, centred around a crucial pass from Jamal Musiala was played into the edge of the box. Musiala had it, played a pass on the turn. Havertz teed up Sané, and he rifled it left-footed all the way along the ground, past the despairing dive of Matt Freese. And Germany have retaken the lead here at Soldier Field. In the 58th minute, it's USA 1, Germany 2, and Leroy Sané is the scorer. Well, it's a nice finish from the Manchester City man, the former Manchester City man. Very good. It's his 76th cap tonight, his 17th goal. And his debut over a decade ago. And a 2-0 defeat to France in St Denis. A game that was overshadowed by explosions and shootings that took place around the stadium. Well, he'll have happier memories of this night, especially if Germany go on to win. And here they come again. All inside is from Havertz. Doesn't quite find Musiala on this occasion. But again, as they did in the first half, Germany have started the second half the better. And it's a question really of whether the USA can summon the reserves that they summoned in the first half to get back in this one. Freese comes out to collect a ball played into his box. Releases it to Weston McKennie. Played forward to Balogun, who will run it down the left-hand side. Looking for help inside now. McKennie provides it. Nice ball between the lines, but overhit at the end and goes through to Oliver Baumann. Baumann just releases it short. And Germany play the ball forward. Freeman is beaten to it by Havertz. Havertz sends it to this left-hand touchline. Florian Wirtz moving forward, sweeps it inside. Lots of room here for Havertz. Out to Sané on the right-hand edge. Sané played a little back heel, but Kimmich wasn't expecting it. Robinson's ball away is poor though. Straight to Sané. USA a little bit discombobulated for the time being at least. Ball is played to Musiala. Much more influential in this half. Can Sané keep that ball in? He does. On that far side, the German right. Lays it back into the path of Kimmich. Well, back to Sané again, but Sané was offside. Hadn't recovered his position. Tick past the hour mark here at Soldier Field. USA 1, Germany 2. Germany heading for a 9th win in a row. We're going to see the first substitutions of the night. So Germany are going to make a triple swap. Nathaniel Brown, Florian Wirtz and Joshua Kimmich, I think, are the men who are going to make way. It's as if Musiala might be making way as well. David Rahm is one of those coming on. We'll clarify who the rest are. Nathaniel Brown taking a break. Havertz has come off too. Dennis Undav, who scored 2 goals in the 4-0 thrashing of Finland last weekend, has come into the fray. Got a little bit of a knock in that game and wasn't fit to start here. Voldemar Anton has come on as well. It looks as if Anthony Robinson's developed a problem, which would be a big worry for the USA. Giovanni Reina has come on for Christian Pulisic. There's all sorts of changes going on. Weston McKennie has come off as well, being replaced by Sebastian Berhalter. So a flurry of substitutions. Anthony Robinson is going to limp off to be replaced by Mark McKenzie. This will be a worry for the USA. It would be a big pity for Anthony Robinson because
when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy.
In goal, a back four of Tim Payne, Finn Sermon, Michael Boxall and Liberato Cacace. Midfield duo of Joe Bell and Marko Stamelic, with Matthew Garbutt, Sarpreet Singh and Elijah Just supporting the main man skipper this evening, and will be skippering them in the North America. Chris Wood, the Tricky Trees forward, leads the line. We're not far from kick-off. Do join us shortly. 9 p.m. is the kick-off time. It's a late one here in England, whereas it's not. It's just in the afternoon. Very, very warm conditions at Raymond James Stadium this afternoon evening here, of course. Do join us shortly as England take on New Zealand in World Cup international friendly preparation. England take. And it's a warm welcome to this evening's independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action as England face New Zealand in the Three Lions' first warm-up game pre-World Cup. New Zealand, this will be their last before their third ever World Cup, but the Three Lions coming into this wanting to make a mark. Of course, New Zealand losing to Haiti last time out, so it's been their final test on the road to the World Cup. Of course, it is in the USA, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Getting used to the venues all across North America are the sides in these friendlies. In the first half, England going from left to right. In the New Zealand, they're going right to left. England are sporting the away strip, red and navy, whereas New Zealand used to in rugby as the All Blacks, whether the All Whites this afternoon. All white for New Zealand and Darren Bazelli's side. Here come England down the left-hand side, ball into the box. Nothing comes of it, and out of play it goes already early on. We'll bring you the lineups in just a moment if you did miss them in the preamble, but it's myself, Lewis Raftery. I'm joined by Steve Pearson to take you through all the action this evening, and early on already Rashford trying to whip that ball into the box. It will be a corner. I'll bring Stephen in just a moment, waiting to see how this corner plays out. Rashford will be taking it as an out-swinging option, waiting to see. Looks like he's lining up on the left. We've been having discussions with our colleagues of what the formation will be. As I said, bring that in a moment. The unknown Barcelona man will swing this in, outswing. It's a decent delivery, heads go up, but cleared away. Stones tries to keep it alive. Henderson, the Brentford man, has it on the left hand side, and they'll keep possession, will England. But Steve, it's of course friendlies. If you win, it's good. If you lose, it's fitness and chemistry, isn't it? How do you see tonight going?
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it, really, because you, as you say, you're going to end up with two teams. Thomas Tuchel's more or less said he's going to play one team in the first half, one team in the second, trying to get 45 minutes into everybody's legs in terms of those who are going to be moving forward, at least in the tournament. There might be one or two players who pop on for a few minutes in terms of who've been helping the squad, pretending to be Arsenal players for the last 4 days. From a New Zealand point of view, this is a step up in test, isn't it, for them? So again, you expect lots of changes for Darren Bazley's side, but I think they will look at it in terms of this is another step up into that competitive area for England. As I say, I think this game is more about minutes in the legs and just getting used to the conditions, etc., and getting used to another team that's going to sit back. New Zealand are sitting in deep, a couple of players further forward with Wood and Singh further downfield, but predominantly they're sitting very deep with the midfield only a few yards in front of that back four.
Here come England down the right hand side. Kwanzaa, can he find a ball into the box? He can. It's not a great one from the Leverkusen, a man from Liverpool, of course. Looks like he's playing at right back this evening. As Steve, I've already said, it would be interesting for us at half time, because England already confirmed they will be playing with an 11 in this first half, and it will be completely changed at half time. So we'll do our best at half time to bring you all those changes. But as Henderson does have the ball just inside the Kiwis half, it's Pickford in goal for the Three Lions. Back four of Kwanzaa, Stones, Gahey and Spence. Looks like a midfield four, if you will. Rodgers and Rashford as the wingers, with Henderson and Manu in the middle. Watkins supporting the skipper, Harry Kane. Of course, Kane, he likes to go a little bit deeper. Perhaps that's why Tuchel's trying this out. Maybe playing it in front two, but more Kane going deeper. Myself and Steve already spoke about the one will drop, one will go. It'll be very fluid, if you will, between that top two. Whereas for New Zealand, Crocombe is in goal. Back four of Payne, Sermon, Boxall and Cacace, with a midfield duo of Stamelic and Bell. Just, Singh, Garbutt supporting the main man, skipper Chris Wood. It is Raymond James Stadium, the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL. Ball into the box from Rashford, cleared away there, and already a lot of possession. It's not a great clearance, and it falls back for Rashford. Cuts inside, finds the ball to the edge of the area. Henderson, strike at goals, blocked away. Never really got anything behind that. More of a curling effort. Trying to get the ball here is clearance away by New Zealand. Of course, Chris Wood trying to knock it forward to him, takes a touch off of his right chest. Out of play for a throw-in. So already England are putting the pressure on. As I've already said, there will be very much that warm-up to the World Cup. Of course, England still face Costa Rica the day before the World Cup gets underway. So very much they're still almost, because of the different kick-off times and different days of when everyone's playing, England are, I wouldn't say further away than New Zealand, but as you said, New Zealand have had a game. They've had a bit more preparation, I'd say. It depends when you start. Of course, for England, for example, they will have got players back a little bit later. For the Premier League only ended 2 weeks ago, really, didn't it? So that'll be different. From Thomas Tuchel's 11, do you think that's why he's maybe experiment a little bit, because this is the first game, and as we've already said, it'll be 2 11s for the two halves?
Yeah, and I think it's sensible, isn't it? You will see, as I say, New Zealand here is stepping up because this is their last game before the tournament starts. They've started a little earlier than England because of the way that the draw has fallen for them. England one of the later ones to begin, so as you say, a few days behind in terms of that. So this is, ease into the pre-tournament scenario for England, and then see what the rest of the tournament brings. Then, as you bring the players in that you actually want to play.
Ball down the left-hand side for New Zealand. Ball cut back, but no one following in there. The left-hand side was a decent ball put in. Put that back to Pickford. He boots it long, looking for Rashford. Of course, his future up in the air. A player who I will assume, as we said, 2 11s. Anthony Gordon is on the bench. Well, he's almost that Barcelona starting left winger now, maybe. And Rashford, after an impressive season at the Camp Nou, of course, now will he go back to Old Trafford? Will he be looking for a new side? That'll be interesting to see. Of course, he's got a lot to prove in this World Cup. Henderson dinks it over the top, looking for the run of Rashford, but Cracombe comes out confident, alert goalkeeping, just a little bit too much on it from the former Liverpool man, and into the arms of the New Zealand goalkeeper. Just over 6 minutes into this game, it's England 0, New Zealand 0. One welcome if you are joining independent off-tube studio commentary. First friendly for the Three Lions. Ball forward for Chris Wood. He brings it down nicely out to the left-hand side, but I believe the referee will pull it back for a foul on Wood. I'm going to take it quickly anyway. New Zealand on the left-hand side. Can they find a ball into Wood? They tried to. It's not the best, and intercepted by Stones. Kwanzaa is definitely at right back. That was maybe the question coming in. Foul there in the middle by Stamenic on Rashford on the right-hand side. England will have the free kick in the middle, and again, looking at that, Kwanzaa, again, it's one of them. He's not something that we would say, it's not a deserved call, but of course he's playing in the Bundesliga, so not many English watchers of football might have seen him. So also it's maybe for him in this friendly to say, no, I do deserve it over the time. Again, it's a squad, isn't it, which is so important at these tournaments. Rarely does your 11 win you a tournament of this. It's your squad, so he could come in and be very big, and it's the same for everyone. Spence and players, Henderson, he'll bring that experience. Everyone can play their part. Yeah,
of course, and you've got a longer than usual tournament now because of the extra games. So you're in that kind of scenario. It's going to be warm. Everybody's talked about that. You accept that. That's part of the deal. If we're going to be in North and Central America for this tournament, so you've got to have those players available. Kwanzaa's had a good season with Bayer Leverkusen. You say it comes under the radar, but mainly because people are, if I put it this way and be blunt about it, people are a bit ignorant about how he's played most of the seasons. The long ball comes into the area, flicks off a defensive head, looking for Rashford again, but England seem to be playing this ball a lot down the left at the moment. Then Rashford's getting in on that far post, and they're looking for that long ball across to that area for him to attack, which is an interesting little tactic in these early stages from England. We see it again here. Rashford immediately pulling away, has the space, but it just flicks off a defensive head and drifts away from it.
It's one of them as well where, as it is a corner kick, as Steve said, same side, the near side, Rashford will take the outswinger once again. It's one of them where, because you've got Rodgers and Rashford, both can play left, both can play right, it's almost you can interchange and see how it is going. It will be Rashford to swing this one in. Header, he's still in the box, cleared away. No, it's not. A melee in the box. New Zealand will finally clear it away. It was a good delivery by Rashford. Poor marking from New Zealand, it has to be said. Henderson will keep this one alive, yes he will, but then the ball back into him from Kwanzaa isn't the best, and New Zealand will pick the ball up. Kane already pressing down, same with Watkins. at the back. New Zealand playing their way into a bit of trouble possibly here. Left hand side, it'll be played over the top for Wood. It's a nice ball. Maybe is he offside? Instead we'll go for now. Wood continues to go into the area. Great defending from Gage. Just getting his body in the way. And then the goalkeeper Pickford comes out and it cleans up there. But that's the problem. I thought that was great from Wood. Ball's perfect, runs perfect. But he almost took a touch. Didn't really get his head up in the end, but it's one of them. If he gets his head up anyway, he goes, well, no one's really following, and you need at least one player committing a bit more to support your skipper.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is he's so far away from his midfield most of the time that on that occasion. Great run, as you say, nice little ball over the top, a little warning shot for England just to be a little bit sharper defensively to wake up to that, and Wood got away well, but in the end, as you say, got crowded out of it. Gay just took his time, came across, made sure there was no option for Wood at all, and as you say, got his body in between player and ball and shepherded it back to Pickford. So in the end, nice defending from England. At the other end, you'll not be surprised to hear my eyes lit up when John Stones was unmarked there in the penalty area, but the header was not good from John, I'm afraid. Disappointing, because it was a good move, as you say, pulled away from the defenders, really should have got the header on target, made a bit of a mess of it as it came across. So yeah, maybe we'll give that down to a little bit of ring rustiness in front of goal, shall we say. That's not his job, I hasten to add, but we still need to be more efficient in front of goal in a World Cup.
100%. You spoke about that's where you get goals from your defenders, you get goals all over the team, hopefully in tournaments like this. England still on the ball, won't be surprised if possession is 80% plus at this point. Rodgers on the right hand side, plays it to Spence. As Steve already spoke about, really deep are New Zealand. When they are on the ball, they are trying to knock it around and play some stuff. Go direct to Wood as Rodgers swings one into the box. It's stabbed away. New Zealand will have the ball on the left hand side. Hoops looking to open it up. Plays a long ball once again for Wood. That's a nice one. It'll be a battle with Manchester City man Mark Gahey. Does well. Nice reverse pass. Garbutt ball into the box. There's no one there. They'll fall for Houston on the left hand side. Got a 1-on-1 against Kwanzaa. Back in the middle to Singh. He'll go for a strike. Slices that one wide. But that's almost Chris Wood almost was a vortex of Spence. Got a little bit ball watching there. Lovely reverse pass. The ball into the box again. If Houston would have just made that run and committed in the middle, it's a big chance for New Zealand.
It is a big chance for New Zealand. It's poor defending overall from England. Gade as well holds up the player, but I'm 11 minutes in and I'm going to have to say Jed Spence defensively worries me, I've got to say, and on that occasion again he was slow to pick up. There was only one runner coming on his left hand side. He looked at him, let him go. Well, either you make sure that somebody's going to take that run and go in behind Gay, or you take the runner. He did neither and left a big gap that Garbutt was able to get into. And again, match sharpness, match awareness. I accept the fact this is first friendly, but this, there's got to be a little bit better from England. They're looking a little bit sluggish at the moment in these early stages. And, New Zealand, maybe as you say, a game further forward, just looking a little bit sharper when they do get players downfield. But as you say, it's a little bit isolated. He says he scored goals for Motherwell. He does know where the back of the net is, but just didn't want to gamble on that occasion, did he? And put that little bit of risk in there for his side.
Now England looking to come forward and respond. Rashford on the left hand side. Number 11 on the back and front for the Red Devils winning. A lovely ball to the overlapping Spence, reaching to get their ball into the box for Watkins. It looks like there might be a collision. In the middle was Rodgers, apology. Watkins right behind him. Looks like he's just going for the ball. Looks like he just might catch Sturman. Looking like he's trying to head the ball as it's a bit low from Spence, and maybe the knee catches him. Nothing malicious from the Aston Villa man, but it will be a free kick basically where a goal kick will be taken for New Zealand. Of course, we look at the bench. I know we've already spoken about it'll be a change of 11s, but of course, which goalkeeper will come on? You've got Henderson and Trafford on the bench, right? So Dan Burn, Konza, Nick O'Reilly, Reece James. There's a couple of players, of course, that are in the squad, but for the World Cup, but are options, of course, even on in the area. Rio and Gamoa. Alex Scott's a name that for me that I sit there and I'm surprised he wasn't in the squad. So that'll be interesting to see if they get minutes and how that changes. Ball taken quickly over the top here into the box. Strike comes in from Watkins and he gets it all wrong. Great play. It's a free kick for England. They won it quickly, and Henderson, that's probably why he's in the squad. That IQ that he's got. Almost quarterbacking plays. A lovely ball over the top for Watkins. Just lets it run. Gets over it. I think it's great defending from New Zealand to put pressure onto him, but he should do better there.
Baker Mayfield for Mike Evans, that wasn't it, down the right-hand side? I know Evans has gone, fortunately for me, to the 49ers, I accept. But, that's what you want. That's what his role is. It is the quarterback role, joking aside. And, he then gets that bit of space, doesn't he, to play it into that gap. Great run from Watkins. Awful finish. Absolutely terrible finish in that sense. But, I'll give Ollie Watkins a bit of breathing space at the moment, as I will with Spence, who did well on the left-hand side for the last attack. That's what he does well for me, Jed Spence. He looks much more comfortable going forward than he does defensively. Made a great run down that left-hand side, played a ball into a dangerous area, as you say, in the end, foul on by Rodgers on the defender Sermon. But that's the kind of overlapping, the kind of energy that England need.
100%. Here come New Zealand with Payne on the right-hand side. Shouts for offside, but it was well onside. Manu intercepts, but it's a sloppy touch, heavy touch, and New Zealand come away with the ball. 15 minutes into this game, it's England 0, New Zealand 0. First friendly for the Three Lions. It's England 0, New Zealand 0 at Raymond James Stadium. Of course, as we were looking at the previews and seeing the broadcasters highlight certain things, everyone was having a go at the pitch when we spoke about it, Steve. Everyone said, "Oh, it looks terrible." I know we're looking at pictures, we're not there live. I don't think it looks too bad, and also we heard a lot of people saying at the pitch it's quite good, but looking at it, just seeing it from pictures, I don't know where the complaints come in, because it looks like a lovely surface, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it does look decent. As I say, in the reports from pitch side and from the players and coaching staff for England, they were perfectly happy with it. There was no issue with it. New Zealand trained on it last night. They reported no issues at all. I think it was just one of those where, because it's an NFL pitch, there's little bits of grass that have been relayed, etc. around it, and sometimes it looks a little bit patchwork as England come forward again. But that's another poor finish, this time from Morgan Rogers. Gets miles underneath it and smashes it way over the crossbar. But again, it's not going to be the perfect surface in that sense at the moment here, but I don't think there's any issues with it, and certainly if there were any issues with it, you could bet your bottom dollar neither of these sides would be playing on it, because they would not be risking anything. Not saying it's going to, somebody's going to slip now and something's going to happen. I know I've said that, but all the reports are that it's very positive once people have actually got on the field rather than just looking at it. So I think that's been the difference, hasn't it? As just to let you know, Scotland won up against Bolivia. Lawrence Shankland now at Rangers rather than Hearts, much to my annoyance as a Hearts preferer. It's Bolivia 0, Scotland 1. Shankland on the score sheet, and Australia have just equalised against Switzerland there in the second half of a friendly, and Switzerland 1, Australia 1. Yengi with a goal rather for Australia.
Also as well, just another update game that's close to finishing, USA and Germany. The Germans are 2-1 up there against one of the host nations, of course. And, well, Rogers shots, 4 shots for England, yet to test the goalkeeper, yet New Zealand with the one, of course, Singh's effort. There was sliced wide, Rashford on the left-hand side now, puts it into Kane. He's a decent way out, but he'll go for goal, stings the palms of the goalkeeper. One of them where it is a save you expect him to make, but Harry Kane hits him with so much swerve and power that you can imagine the goalkeeper there. It's a good punch away because he punches it out of the penalty box, doesn't let someone run in and take it away. And look, credit, because I don't think that's Harry Kane. Well, Hardy hits him, you don't want to sometimes catch him. It was straight at the goalkeeper though. Rodgers' effort was more of a PAT, wasn't it? Right over the crossbar. Would have been perfect for an extra point or a field goal, but that was the first shot on target for England for Harry Kane. Speaking of Rodgers, he's on the ball, right hand side into Kwanzaa, right outside the penalty area, back to the Aston Villa man, looks to poke it forward to Kane. It's intercepted by Stamanic off of Henderson. Looks like it came off his head, but handballs being given. So New Zealand will get the ball. I mean, maybe he put his hand close to his head and maybe it did come off his... we're not seeing a replay. We're seeing a replay of Harry Kane striking. I think it's one of them also. Sometimes just getting that first shot out of your system. Harry Kane takes a touch. He wants to score. He wants to assist. He wants to win. Does a Bayern Munich man, but it's almost, you know what, let's have a test at the keeper, let's see what he's all about.
Yeah, and I think there's one or two players probably, it's the old thing, different ball again, so you have to get used to that. I know they've been training with it for a little while now, but still slightly different, isn't it? Crocombe's under pressure from Harry Kane, but Crocombe's a decent goalkeeper. He's had most half of the season at least for Millwall before they changed things round between the sticks when Patterson came in midway through the season. So probably a little bit ring rusty in that sense, like a lot of goalkeepers in some of the smaller nations as well. I'm not going to lump Scotland into the smaller nation category, but Scotland face similar issues as well with goalkeepers who are good quality keepers but haven't been playing every week. So for Crocombe's point of view, safety first, sensible I think in this kind of scenario. scenario.
It was, I'd have to agree. It's one of them where I don't mind them punching it away, especially it's a very good punch, as that was. Nice ball here as New Zealand come forward from Payne into Stamanic, and gets that caught up in his feet trying to play it first time. Watkins picks it up into his Aston Villa teammate Rogers. He drives forward. Rashford on the left hand side into the penalty area, opens his body up, goes for a strike, it's blocked away. Harry Kane will pick up the ball on the right hand side. No support. Gets it now though from Kwanzaa. New Zealand have got balls back. Henderson. That's a lovely ball into the box. Goes all the way through. Rashford. Does he keep it alive? Referee looks to the linesman. New Zealand have cleared it away. Don't believe it will be a goal. Lovely ball in from Henderson once again. Maybe just keeps in. I do believe it will be a throw-in on the left-hand side for England. But I thought it was a lovely getaway. Rashford, does he just take it a little bit too inside there?
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, he's trying to get it. There's not a great deal to aim at in the middle, and obviously plenty of white shirts back for New Zealand. Had he tried to get the ball into the area, so it's sensible to try and go for the strike, and why not?
Watkins into Kane, trying to feed it into Rogers. A little bit too intricate there, Henderson. Down a little bit too easy there was Singh. Referees having absolutely none of it. Out to Rogers on the right hand side, bends the ball into the box, cleared away for a corner. And at least England now, they're getting the balls into the box. That one from Henderson was nice. The one from Rogers, not great, but it's putting pressure on New Zealand, and another corner coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about being patient, isn't it, from an England point of view? You know, the chances are coming, the opportunities are there. They've had a couple of strikes towards goal. Watkins probably should have done better. Stones could have done better from the corner. You know, there have been plenty of chances for England in the first 20 minutes. Solid start. You know, everybody will look and go, should we win this 4-5-0 because of what happened to New Zealand against Haiti? But, you know, as I said, we're into a different kind of scenario here. You know, it's positive from England. That's all I want to see. You know, they've been fairly solid at the back, and up front, chances are starting to come.
Will be a corner from the same side as well, the near side. Rashford will take again. That's with the first corner. He's got Mainu's shot, plays it short into the box. Henderson flicks it to the edge of the area. Spence's strike comes in. That would have taken a great strike. No one is back. Thankfully, Pickford is into the New Zealand half. Plays it forward into Gahey. Looking for a pass is the Manchester City man. He's probably, when you're looking at the back four, England, I assume they're going to play with a back four as Henderson swings out to the right side. He's probably the undisputed number one. It's who's going to partner him more than anything. Rashford, quick feet past his man, good defending at the back there. It'll be cleared out for a throw-in, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? The John Stones and Gahey, that would be my preferred centre-back. It's more as, can Stones be fit? Can he play every game? And the question isn't, is Gahey going to start? It's who starts with him, probably.
Yeah, I think so, and a lot of it depends on John Stones' fitness, I suspect, particularly in the first stages of the tournament, because he's not played massive amounts of football this year for Manchester City. So, you know, he fits into the category we just talked about, one or two of the goalkeepers. So this is about getting some of the rust off him, seeing what he can do. You know what you get from John Stones, and him and Gahey have worked together in training, etc. Spence will try a shot from distance. That's another 3-point attempt from distance. We're into New York Knicks territory there from downtown, but miles over the crossbar. But again, space for him. Not a lot of room around that. So we have our first break. The referee Natalie Simon, USA international official, just bringing the players over for the drinks break, which is something we've got to get used to. 3 minutes of this we've got to talk through now, Lewis.
Yes,
so get yourselves ready for this one. Once a half, 3 minutes to go through it all, along with all the various other changes. I'll just pick up one point while this is on. Corners. Okay, I accept the fact that we've got 4 Arsenal players still to join this side, but at the moment this is not a performance where we've seen 3 corners, I think, from England so far. None of them into the 6-yard area. All trying something different. Now, whether that's a mask for what England will actually do in the tournament, or whether this is testing out things already in terms of how they're going to do corners, but there's nothing whipped into that 6-yard box. There's nobody running from deep into the area, and of course we've got the warnings about if you put a foul in before the ball comes in and you score a goal from the corner that comes in, it'll be picked up by VAR and it will be ruled out. So, that corner concept for England is going to be really interesting as these 2 friendlies go on, to see if we get a true picture when that first game comes around of what England are trying to achieve from set pieces.
Well, what's interesting as well is you're spot on about the corners, is that all 3 of them have been from our near side, England going from left to right of our broadcast. There's no left footers in the 11.
No.
So it'll be interesting when it goes to the other side, because when it's an injury you can really whip it onto the goalkeeper, can't you? That'll be interesting. As you say, Bukayo Saka comes in, that's a left footer from an angle that Rashford's had. We haven't seen an in-swinging option because we haven't got a left footer in the 11 to England, and it's not being on the far side. As Steve said, you're not missing anything. It's a hydration break, drinks break, whatever you like to call it. Well, it's anywhere between 90 seconds to 3 minutes of time. It'll just get added onto the back end. Looking like at Raymond James Stadium, about 32 degrees, give or take. The sun has come out since we've kicked off. We're saying very humid, very muggy. It's what it probably is over there. The fans in the stands there, and they're enjoying their time. I can imagine it's a nice time probably to sit and watch the football or watch a sport maybe playing. It might be an awkward one. It's England 0, New Zealand 0. As I say, you're not missing anything. The broadcasters, as Steve said, we're trying to sync with things and talk about things. Well, now they're looking at the pirate ship at the Raymond James Stadium where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play.
I'm waiting for that to go off. That's what I
want to see the fireworks.
I know how that works. A goal, and all of a sudden all heck breaks loose out of that end of the ground, as we know, as the Real Madrid fans are in the house for Bellingham supporters, but of course their man not on the field.
No, the second half maybe they can see Billy goal, but which is what the sign there up. And well, you spoke of the New York Knicks, of course, and basketball and the American football and everything. It's very Americanized, but almost these drink breaks almost make it quarters, don't they? It makes it a first quarter, second quarter, and again, it could be a team that adapts well to that. If you've got momentum in the 20th minute, you might think, oh, we've got a drinks break coming up, we need to take advantage of this. It's something that is going to be in the back of players' minds. Oh, we're under the cosh, if we can just see out another 2 minutes, we're going to get a drinks break and we can have a word with our coach and our team. That's something you've got to adapt to.
Well, it isn't if you've played in the Premier League, because they've been playing that way all season.
Yes.
But they won't be doing that again because of our old friend Mr. Kalina has come out and said, no, you don't. You can stay on the pitch. I don't want anybody going off if a goalkeeper comes down. And you've got the drinks break anyway, which, let's be honest, is exactly what's been happening in the Premier League all year. So, I don't think it'll make a big difference, particularly to Premier League players. It might make a difference to those who are playing in the Bundesliga and La Liga and Liga and etc. and other leagues that haven't been taking advantage of that as much, shall we say.
No, I think you're spot on with that. Passes 168 for England, 57 for New Zealand, and that's a poor one from Gahey, and it goes out for a throw-in. Just about to hit 26 minutes on the clock. It's independent of Tube Studio commentary of this international friendly. England against New Zealand, the Three Lions against the Kiwis. It's currently goalless. England, of course, have had more possession, have had more chances, but New Zealand have threatened on the counter, but it has to be said. Just over halfway through this first half, to take us through to half-time, pass you over to Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. We've got a break now, haven't we, as well, where we can pass over. It's like
quite
half-time.
nice.
That'll work a lot easier for us. As a shot comes in from distance from that edge of the area from Gar, but it's pushed away fairly comfortably by Pickford. It was on target, but bobbling shot rather than anything else. England trying to clear the lines deep in their own half. A little flick from Mainu, finds Jed Spence, who's wearing that strapping or that contraption almost that it is around under his chin because of that facial injury, but he looks okay, moving nicely around. Doesn't seem to be bothering him at all as England get possession back again midway inside their own half. Scott McTominay has just scored for Scotland against Bolivia, so the Scots 2-0 up in the Sports Illustrated Stadium in New Jersey. The ball worked out over onto that left hand side for Jed Spence. New Zealand dropping back in again now. They've got a message from Darren Baisley as the long ball comes in towards the area, but there's nobody in red in there. It drops straight into the hands of Max Crocombe. See a replay again of that save. Regulation stuff really for Pickford.
Yeah, I think it's just the bounce before, isn't it, that gets him. And again, very similar. I know it's a little bit closer there, the New Zealand effort compared to Harry Kane's. It was an effort, 20-25 yards out. The punch is good because it's away, it's out of the box. I know you want the maybe goalkeepers to catch up, but it's not falling and just giving a quick and easy opportunity for a striker or an attacker to fall in line and grab an easy rebound. He punches it away, and Spence does well to come on. But that's what England have got to be careful of, because again, in the heat, the weather, blah blah blah, we would speak about, when you have a lot of the ball, yes, your defenders are running around, but when they sit low, it's not as much work. If they're using that pressing high, they're just sitting and reserving themselves. So then on a counter, they can kind of burst forward and support the teammates.
Here's a little bit of play from New Zealand inside the England half, which hasn't been a regular thing so far in this first half. Here's Sarpreet Singh, who comes back inside, looking for somebody to lay it off to, but there's nobody around. England have dropped back in nicely deep. Here comes Eli just down this left-hand side. Drops it off for the Wrexham man, Kakache, who will go back towards the halfway line, and it's worked out for Sermon. Back to Boxall in those central areas, and England just sitting back for a moment or two. I suspect this is a little bit of part of the plan, is if New Zealand do get a bit of possession inside the England half, we set up, we see our defensive lines, we make sure we play it as though we're playing any of the sides in the World Cup, and England have forced the error in the end from this New Zealand team, because that's important as well. There's been a lot of play. First 27 minutes has all been inside the New Zealand half, really, but at times, you know, I suspect Thomas Tuchel has almost said to the side, right, out of possession, let's drop in, let's work properly on a defensive unit.
Yeah, 100%, and maybe even just as what can we do defensively? How will we line up defensively? And you know what? Sitting back means there's a bit more space, and here England come on a counter.
Yeah, Kane plays the ball into the path of Spence over on that left-hand side. He drives down towards the penalty area, into the box. He's waited a little long to get it across, but he does find Rodgers. Back to Mainu on the edge of the area. Tries a curling shot, looking for the far top corner, but again, England players at the moment just getting under the ball a little, and it's flying past the crossbar. Whether that's the humid air, whether it's a little bit of a different ball, or whether it's just some poor finishing is difficult to know, but England just slightly with the radars off at the moment.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on. It probably is a combination of all of them, isn't it? It's a little bit of everything, because it's one of them, isn't it? Possibly with a different sponsored ball, how you hit it, how it rotates. Of course, everyone remember the Jabulani in 2010, how you hit that and how it just swerved Diego Forlan. He was a world-class centre forward. He was the best player in the world in Africa, South Africa in 2010. So it all plays a part, but England coming forward again.
Yeah, here's Rodgers in a little bit of space, tries a shot, comes off the back of his own man though and drops in midfield, but Kane wins it back for England, or at least forces the error. It'll be rolled across by Rodgers, out to Konsa on this right-hand side. Comes back inside for Henderson. New Zealand have now dropped in around the edge of their own penalty area. Konsa tries to thread a ball through. Was looking for Kane. I think Kane thought it was a shorter ball for Watkins. Didn't react straight away, and he apologises to his defensive player there, because had he made the run, could have had a chance at the near post.
100%. And I think the thing is as well is, and this is again not to any player or team, but maybe you look at why are Morgan Rodgers and Ollie Watkins starting? Well, they play week in, week out. They just know each other, don't they? So maybe that's something that Thomas Tuchel's looking to take advantage of. Kobe Mainu and Marcus Rashford. Yes, they didn't play this season, but they've played at Manchester United a lot. And you look at tournaments, a lot of teams have players, Spanish team, they had that Barcelona connection, didn't there? And maybe that's what Tuchel's looking at, Gahey and Stones. You've mentioned, they've got a partnership. It's a built-in partnership, built-in communication. And with tournaments, when you have little time to implement a lot what you want, that's maybe the best thing to do.
Absolutely. Long clearance forward by Max Crocombe, almost finds Wood, but tidied up by England. Back to Jordan Pickford, right footed ball downfield. It's a long one over the top, and it's a chase down that right hand side, and Watkins will get there first, gets round the back of the defender in towards the penalty area, pulls it back across near post. Good work from Max Crocombe, gets out quickly before Rashford can snaffle the chance up, and he dives the keeper across and makes a save. But good break from England, good play.
That was fantastic from Watkins, and again, why is he as well? He's a pacey striker, isn't he? But he's a striker who some strikers don't know that. He knows where he would like the ball, so he either knows into the areas he can put it in. Very similar to when Harry Kane will play a pass. He knows what he wants, so he tries and put it onto a plate there. And actually, that's just great goalkeeping. That's alert goalkeeping to take the chance to come out, because if he doesn't, Rashford's going to get there first, and he probably, because it's that close, either he puts it wide or it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, look at the replay again here. Long clearance by Pickford. It was possibly a little too long in the end, but actually Watkins had read it, made that run down the right hand side. Lovely running by Rashford as well. Got behind the defender. I think it was Tim Payne who was trying to come across and cover him. Never got a sniff, Payne, on that far side. As Rashford powered past him. Here come England again. Ball into the feet of Kane. I suspect though that actually Morgan Rodgers was looking for Watkins further over rather than Kane, but the England centre forward wasn't to know that. There's John Stones working his way across. Singh comes across to try and cover him over, but England get it up towards the halfway line. Henderson inside for Kobe Mainu, surrounded by white shirts. Just rolls into his right hand side. England maybe just taking a moment or two. You've got to be efficient with your energy usage in the heat. Strong spells with plenty of movement, and then spells where they just take the energy down a little, get a breather, and move forward as Stones drives into the New Zealand half of the field. Can't find an outlet. He's wanting somebody to come in a little shorter, and finally Rodgers does. Finds Watkins wide right. Watkins into a central position. Thinks about a shot on his left foot, but then checks back. Finds Mainu. That's a little bit of work from him to extract himself from a couple of New Zealand midfielders. And eventually England will play it out onto that left-hand side for Rashford. Up against Payne again. Turns him inside out. Payne does well to get back, but Rashford's still going. Lifts the ball towards the far post. Kane with the header. Good save from Cookham. It was right above his head. And the Millwall keeper had to be quick. Pushes it over behind for a corner.
That's fantastic from Rashford down the left-hand side, wasn't it? And again, very similar to what you see with players a point to prove. Marcus Rashford's got a massive point to prove, hasn't he, this summer, really, hasn't he? That Barcelona don't really want him. Manchester United, do they want him? Does he want to stay in the Premier League? If he can show himself as, right, I could be a great credit to, well, you know what, Bayern Munich wanting Anthony Gordon, well, look at how me and Harry Kane work together, I could be a good option for you. That was a great play from him, and another corner which Rashford will take.
Yeah, I suspect there's a long list of suitors potentially for Marcus Rashford, particularly with a positive tournament, but a positive start from him in his first 35 minutes as he whips in the corner. It's knocked away from the near post though. I think it was Sermon, Finn Sermon just getting his head to it first of all. England back in possession. Deep in the New Zealand half, but in the sense of towards the halfway line rather than around the penalty area, as Conser tries a little flick inside but loses possession. Joe Bell tries to get forward, plays his football in Norway, finds his captain Chris Wood, plays his football in Nottingham of course, as he drives through the middle now, makes a run forward. Ball attempted to be played into his path, is a little overhit though, and Pickford will come forward. 35 minutes gone then. England 0, New Zealand 0. Scotland have just got a third. They've got 3 inside 31 minutes. Che Adams, the latest to get himself on the score sheet. As England play a ball forward here for Rashford to chase. Just manages to keep it in play. Pulls it back across the area, but it's behind Harry Kane on this occasion. And there's plenty of white shirts to tidy up and clear the ball away towards just on this left-hand side. In the end, it falls to Tim Payne, who pops up in a central area, having come across to cover. He will take it up forward. Players still playing in New Zealand. Payne, 2 or 3 in the starting lineup this afternoon. With Singh in there as well. Plays with him at Wellington Phoenix. Full time between America and Germany. Havertz and Sane on the score sheet for the Germans. Robinson with the goal for the USA. 2-1 it finished to Germany. Switzerland, Australia, the friendly still at 1-1. If you look at that to get an idea of how those two sides are shaping up for the group stages. Ball was picked up by Henderson again. Looks forward. No outlet. Spence made the run, but New Zealand have read it, and the ball inside is poor. Easily picked up again by Bell. It's cleared away towards Wood, who looks round, finds himself with no friends. Plays the ball back. Singh then tries to get forward, but he slipped. The referee quite rightly waves away any suggestion of a free kick, and England will turn it over and move forward. It's in towards Kane. Poor ball in for him though, and it spins away towards Quansah. Move back towards walking pace. At the moment, New Zealand defending pretty well, not really giving England any space.
No, they're not, and the best thing for England is when they did sit back, didn't they? That created space in behind New Zealand, but here they come.
Yeah, Rodgers down towards the byline, tries to pull one back across. Crocombe, little juggling act at the near post before he finally gets the ball under control, but he was in the right place, the New Zealand keeper, in a truly hideous pink kit, it's got to say. It's an element of ice cream, I would suggest, maybe a bit of 90s tie-dye in there as well. But it's an interesting one, let's put it that way.
You won't miss it.
No, you certainly won't miss him, even if it's dark. Although if you're watching the games that are dark, it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning UK time, so good luck as the ball is played forward up towards the halfway line. Again looking for Wood, but Gay is there, able to flick the ball away from him. The ball rolls all the way back to Jed Spence. Have played New Zealand twice before, back-to-back friendlies in the centenary celebrations for the New Zealand Football Association way back in 1991. Lineker, Pearson, Hurst, the 3 goal scorers in the 2 games apparently. I don't remember them, I've got to be honest. I remember Lineker, Pearson, Hurst, but
Remember the names.
David Hurst might be one that passed a few people by. The former Sheffield Wednesday striker. The ball played forward for England then towards Jed Spence. Tries to pull it back across. Cleared away by Sermon again at the near post. And it's out of play for a throw-in. 7 minutes to go. Well, we'll say 10 minutes to go to the break because we know there'll be a couple of minutes of stoppage time because of the drinks break. But it's steady rather than spectacular from England, as you'd expect.
Yeah, 100%. And it's about preparations, and it's no offence to New Zealand or anything. It'd be the next friendly where I'd expect a little bit more from England. That's where you sit and go, if it's 2 back-to-back flat performances, that would be worrying. Whereas this one, it's your first one, you're going to have 2 11s. In the second one against Costa Rica, that's where it might be more, right, a good hour to 70 minutes with a first 11, which he wants, and then a lot of subs made, whereas this one is, again, that testing conditions, it's your first competitive game in the USA, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and what I like about Spence is making those runs, but unfortunately, it's always on his weaker boot. If that's an equal O'Reilly, I may be expecting a better delivery.
Yeah, we'll see what the second half brings in terms of the lineups. England expected to put out a different 11 as Rashford nips the ball in towards the near post. Bell heads it away, drops outside the penalty area, and Spence will come all the way across to pick it up. As we said, mask on his face, strapping on his left arm. Plays it all the way to Rashford over on that far side. Rashford puts a great ball in across the area, but there's no English head to nod it home as New Zealand was stretching. Rashford putting a dangerous ball in, but nobody in red able to get on the end of it.
It's the right idea. It whips it in power and pace, isn't it? It's almost that shot cross. He's going for a cross, I'm not saying that, but how he goes for his shots with his laces and how the ball swerves. It's just unfortunately, it's a bit of both. It's a little bit over hit, but also there's no one making that run. If someone makes that run to the back post and has to jump a little bit, I think it's a perfect ball. It's just one of them where just not colliding with the opportunity. Lovely ball here. It was Watkins.
Yeah, plays the ball into the area, slightly behind Kane, but he manages to control it, the England captain, looking for space. He's shepherded away by a couple of New Zealand players, and the All-Whites win back possession again, but inside their own penalty area. England press quickly. Henderson's in with a challenge. England back in possession. Rogers tries a rather fancy back heel into the path of Watkins, which doesn't quite work, but it's worked across to Rashford, onto his right foot, 20 yards out, and again, guess what? Curling shot. Foot over.
Yeah, it's one of them as well. He's hit it with his laces, but it's one of them where it's just rolled a little bit far away from him. So it's one of them, if that's with his laces, that's probably bound for the top corner, isn't it? Because it gets away from him a little bit. It's almost that slicing wide, isn't it, unfortunately? And but it's one of them where, again, if Marcus Rashford gets that against Costa Rica, a bit more competitive and minutes in the legs, what you've got to think about as well for Rashford, I know he's starting, and you spoke about this with, for example, certain goalkeepers not getting minutes. He wasn't a starter for Barcelona this season. I think he had a good season, but Paul Rogers is that one who's Watkins and Kane, they've been going. Rashford is that one that he could do with more minutes under his belt, and the friendlies will help him.
Just seen a replay of the shot from Marcus Rashford. Keep the NFL analogy going for the field goal. It was a 25-yard effort, but wide right by quite a long way in the end as it flashed across the face of the goal. But no danger for Max Crocombe, who's only really called into action once so far in this game. Not quite sure what New Zealand are going to do in terms of their lineup in the second half, whether there'll be major changes. I suspect not as many from Darren Baisley as he tries to prepare his squad for the start of the tournament. As the ball is lifted into the New Zealand box, it's hooked away. As Kakache clears it away out of the penalty area. It's worked out on that right-hand side. Real space at the moment for Matt Garbutt. Peterborough United man sees a challenge in, ball out of play for a throw in to New Zealand. Interesting to see whether we have to crack on with the throw-ins in this game, or whether Natalie Simon is giving them a bit of breathing space here, because they are told they have 5 seconds basically from the time that we get the ball in hand to be able to take it. I'm sure supporters will be screaming that he's took more than 5 seconds after it's gone out of play. That's not quite the rule. Give players a little chance to at least get the ball back, but then after that it is get it thrown in as quickly as possible. Otherwise play will go to the opposition. Same from goal kicks as well, that's all to come. Jordan Pickford will have some fun and games with that, because at some point I'm sure he will forget and it could be a corner given away. So he's going to have to stay sharp. All the goalkeepers are going to have to be careful on that one. And again, it is when they've got the ball in place. Max Crocombe has a free kick to be taken inside his own half. No, he can delay as long as he likes on these, as far as I know. As Crocombe plays a right-footed ball downfield into the sunlit sky in Tampa. 5 hours behind UK time. It's come up towards 5 o'clock in the evening. Drops into Harry Kane. He's deep inside his own half for the moment. Tidies up. That means Watkins will probably drop in behind him. But England not rushing to get forward now as the time ticks towards half-time. Plenty of possession from England. Plenty of chances, but shooting boots not on so far this evening. Plenty of chances from outside the area, but only one on target. All the others have flashed way over the crossbar. You can read into that what you will, as we've said. As here comes Kane in the centre circle, rolls the ball towards Quansah on that right-hand side, who gets there before anybody in the white shirts of New Zealand. Works his way across field, nowhere to go though for the moment. Just drops it into Henderson. Pick up possession on that left-hand side. Ball chipped in again. Crocombe is there well and truly before Morgan Rogers could get to it, and that one nicely, but it was just a lifted ball into the penalty area, and really it should have been a comfortable catch for the keeper. All ends up.
Yeah, the problem with that one, I think, more was it was just quite floated, wasn't it? So it's into a good area, but that's when you've got to maybe hit with a bit more fizz into the box. Here comes Spence.
Yeah, Jed Spence in towards the penalty area, tries to step inside. Challenge comes in, tracking back from Matt Garbutt. Ball out of play for a throw-in, which Harry Kane will go across to take quickly. Middlesbrough, there's a lot of North-East contingent I'm just seeing on that far side, by the way. There's Hartlepool United flags, there's 2 of those, 2 Middlesbrough flags as well. That must be where the aircraft from Teesside Airport landed, somewhere over on that far side. As England try and get away down the right-hand side through Rogers, he runs out of real estate in the end. And the ball rolls behind for nothing more than a goal kick to New Zealand. We have reached the 45-minute mark. There will be at least a couple of minutes of stoppages in this half, as you say, only because of the drinks break that is now mandatory in these warm-ups. So yeah, 3 minutes as Alex Valette puts the board up, exactly what we expected. No injuries, no other concerns, no substitutions. Crocombe launches it right-footed, long downfield, looking for Wood, of course, who holds off Stones, does well, rolls into the path of Just on this left-hand side. He lifts the ball into the area, looking for Wood. It wasn't a bad one as well. It just seemed to drift at the last moment and bounce away from Chris Wood. But for a second, it looked like that was curving nicely into his path.
He did, and I think he had that second where he looked over his shoulder. You just see that he tried to get the jets on, didn't he, very quickly. You just saw the panic for a second for the Manchester City defender. And that's the thing when you do have Chris Wood, is sometimes he's that type of striker where the ball doesn't have to be on a plate for him. You can almost just... He's that kind of, he's got the movement, he can feed off of scraps to a degree with chances, and he will put them in the back of the net. And that one, if a little bit under hit, and he's at least testing Pickford, you would have thought, wouldn't you? Going into half time, he's currently goalless. England, again, they're on the ball coming forward, but New Zealand, as you said, they haven't been opened up, have they? It's been quite easy for them.
Yeah, it certainly has. I think England's first 11 in terms of today, I'm not suggesting this is the first 11 that Thomas Tuchel is going to pick on day one of the tournament, but the first 11 players we're going to see this afternoon for England will be a little bit disappointed if they go in at 0-0 and haven't got themselves at least on the score sheet in the first half of this game. They've dominated possession. It's been a positive workout overall. I'm sure England fans will be moaning and whinging that we're not 4-0 up before we get to half-time, but that's not always the reality of these games, as we've seen. Although Scotland are 3-0 up against Bolivia after just coming up to their 45 minutes. So here comes Spence again then, England looking for something just before half-time, which is a good ball in towards Kane with a flick on, and there is the opening goal of the evening for England as the ball whipped in. That time there was a red shirt in the right place to get the header. Harry Kane does what he does best, little flick, ball nestles into the far corner, and England lead by 1-0.
79th goal for the Three Lions as skipper. It's getting outrageous at this point, isn't it? I'm sure as he'll keep going as long as he can, he will have more goals than many players have appearances at the top end. And that was a great ball from Spence. Great movement as well in the box. And as you say, for me, the ball's that good. It's just Kane. He knows what to do. He's not trying to get to it. He's just trying to flick it on. He knows the ball's got pace on it. let me just get a little bit of a header on this and make it awkward as well. Because you had Watkins just behind him, that maybe would have made it awkward. The goalkeeper thinks, oh, is he going to get a flick on it? The defenders. I think it's poor because Kane gets in between the two defenders, the two centre backs, and it's a lovely cushion header. So the goal's been coming in. I mean, there's not a bad time to score a goal, but at the end of the first or second half, it now just takes that momentum, doesn't it? Harry Kane's got his first goal of these friendlies. You're going to go off in a minute, but now you've just got a bit of confidence going into the second half as well.
You see the replay, it's a better header than you first think when he's whipped in it slightly behind the England captain, but he manages to stretch those neck muscles, get the head on it and flick it into the far corner. And as play gets back underway, the referee blows the half-time whistle, a shake of the hands between the referee and the England captain. He knows his job is done for this evening, and it's job done with the goal that separates the two sides. Half-time, England 1, New Zealand 0.
Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for AILFC, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for AILFC, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for AILFC, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for AILFC, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for AILFC, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for AILFC, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. They were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too many shots on target. There were in the final third a lot. New Zealand nearly had a chance, so a shot on target testing Pickford for Eli Eust, but the goal came off the lovely play from Jed Spence on the left hand side. Great ball into the box. Kane's cushion header gives England a 1-0 lead at half time. Thanks to Harry Kane's cushion header in stoppage time, England lead New Zealand 1-0 in this international friendly ahead of the World Cup. A lot of possession for the Three Lions. They did dominate, not too. And it's a warm welcome back to second half coverage of this international friendly, the first one for the Three Lions England ahead of this summer's World Cup. It is England against New Zealand, thanks to a stoppage time header from Harry Kane. The Three Lions lead the Kiwis 1-0. Of course, coming into this game, we were expecting a lot of changes, a different 11. We were exactly that from England. Looks to be that New Zealand are exactly how they were in the first half. Don't believe we've seen any changes from them, but for England it is a completely new 11. So it looks like it is in goal James Trafford, a back four of Reece James, Ezri Konsa, Dan Burn and Valentino Livramento. Midfield three of Elliot Anderson, Jude Bellingham and Nico O'Reilly, and a forward three of Rio Ngamoa, Ivan Toney and Anthony Gordon. does believe it's more of a 4-3-3 setup for England. Bellingham with the armband on this afternoon, evening for us in England. It's just gone past 10 o'clock local time in Tampa, Florida. It's at the Raymond James Stadium, the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just after 5 p.m. So an afternoon game in the USA. Of course, a lot of time changes, and playing on the East Coast, playing on the West Coast for us, coming into a Saturday night where it's only in the afternoon going into the evening for them. So quickly, if you did miss it, Trafford in goal, back four of James, Konza, Byrne, Livramento, midfield three of Anderson, Bellingham and O'Reilly, forward three of Gordon, Ngamoa and Ivan Toney. For New Zealand, it's the same 11, Crocombe in goal, back four of Payne, Sherman, Boxall and Kakatse, with a midfield two of Stamanic and Bell, Eust, Singh, Garbett and Skipper Wood leads the line. Of course, can expect a lot more changes for New Zealand as the second half goes on, but that is the lineup. It's myself, Lewis Rafter, I'm joined by Steve Pearson, take you through all of this second half action. It's England 1, New Zealand 0, independent off-tube studio commentary of all the action. And well, Steve, it wasn't as much of a hassle as we thought, because we got the 11s just before we went on the air for the second half. But looking at the 11, it is more to me of a 4-3-3, three midfielders, three forwards, whereas it was more of a 4-4-2, 4-2-3 in the first half. Do you think as well, looking at this, Nico O'Reilly's in midfield? I know he can play there, but more of a left back at Manchester City. Livramento can play either sides, showing us why he's gone to the tournament. He's at left back. Gordon, who's on the ball, brings Stephen in a moment. Actually, saying come England, the new Barcelona man into the Madridista, Jude Bellingham. Of course, they'll be facing off in La Liga in the 26-27 season. Rio Ngamoa, the youngster, onto the field of play. He's on the ball. Back into Elliot Anderson. The tricky trees, of course, up against his teammate Chris Wood. Might not be at running for it for too long. Gone and down the left-hand side, ball into the boxes. Played it out for a corner. So quickly, Steve, before this corner comes in, how do you think the second half will play out?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be more of the same, isn't it? We knew that there was two lineups for Thomas Tuchel, as we'd expected, and again, as he said, he might have one or two square pegs in round holes here because he wants to give everybody 45 minutes, but it's not necessarily where they might play, as he said before. He said they're going to try and squeeze everybody into that kind of scenario and give as many as I can. So he's got 22 on the field, hasn't he? Which is more or less what he wants to do at this stage. Arsenal players obviously taken out of that, so I don't think this. I don't think you read too much into exactly who's where. Byrne can play centre half, he can play left back. James is multiple positions. O'Reilly, as you say, a couple of places down that left hand side potentially as well. So yeah, I think it's keeping it simple from Thomas Tuchel. As the corner comes in, flashes across the area, still not clear. Crocombe's missed it. Oh, and he's rather fortunate the ball comes off the post. I think it's Dan Byrne who actually gets the final head on it, and it hits the outside of the post and spins away. And that was a mess from New Zealand from a defensive point of view from that set piece opportunity. See the replay again here. Yeah, O'Reilly was in there. Yeah, Byrne just gets up. Crocombe just makes a total mess of that one, trying to get himself underneath it. And Dan Byrne could have easily scored within 4 minutes of coming onto the field from that set piece. But again, we can't read too much into the corner. That one was a near post area one, but outside the 6-yard box. So we've had a bit of everything, but nothing inside the 6-yard box from England in the first 49 minutes from all the set pieces that they've had.
No, so it'll be interesting to see how the second half develops, won't it? And you spot on, about, for example, Nico O'Reilly could be playing left back, but let's get him in midfield for a few minutes. It's one of them, isn't it? As far as I can see, at least from the named bench, look, these players could come on for 10 or 15 minutes, who knows? You've got Dean Henderson, Alex Scott, Ethan Nwaneri and Joshua King. Of course, 3 of the 4 who are on the bench aren't in the squad, including Rio Ngamoa, but I believe Alex Scott definitely is a backup, so there's the opportunity to come in. Of course, Harry Kane didn't make it 1-0, just 5 minutes into the second half. England won at New Zealand 0. And getting minutes under your side, I think it might, for me, just from a mentality point, is it a little bit different? Because if you're starting, you're just coming in to get minutes, you're almost now responding to what they did in the first half. Like if you're Ivan Toney, I think Ivan Toney knows Harry Kane's got that number 9 position down, but Ollie Watkins hasn't, for example. So Ollie Watkins did this, could I maybe get a goal, and could I prove myself? Anthony Gordon, Marcus Rashford didn't have a bad first half, but I'm competing for him, and I've seen what he did, now I can respond to it, whereas the likes of Rashford and Watkins, they had to go out and set the standard a little bit.
Yeah, the good thing as well is you're playing the same team from New Zealand for at least the first 15 minutes or so, as well as Gordon comes forward here again.
Ball into the box, it's just behind Tony, and really following up there on the right hand side, dealt with well by New Zealand. Once again, Gordon, lovely pace on the left hand side, lovely play by New Zealand, but a bit of a too much on that pass that time in the middle of the field from Bell and out of play. But that's exactly what you spoke about. The heat's going to be questioned all summer long, but you were rightfully spoke about New Zealand there, up against the defenders Surnham there and Payne. A pacey Gordon coming on, not something you really want to see.
No, not really. They'll have looked down the list and know who was likely to be the second opponent to play this afternoon/evening in Florida. But again, there from Gordon, there wasn't really a ball inside. I want to see him pull back inside or drive across. And he tried that little flick with the outside of the foot, lost the possession. And I know we're being hypercritical here in that sense, and we want the best from it. But you just want to see players looking sharp. That's the key thing. Is okay if it's not the best game, it's never going to be a classic. This one, it's always going to be this is a training game. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, in front of paying spectators, rather than anything else. So don't get overworked up about it. But just hope that your England players are looking nice and sharp, and there seems to be a process that England are playing. I think first half, look at it and say, well, we only scored one goal. And it was only just before half time, but actually dominated possession, created quite a few chances, particularly around the edge of the penalty area. Better finishing, could easily have been 2 or 3 up. One chance for New Zealand, comfortable save for Pickford. That was it. So that was job done as for me. That first 45 minutes, exactly what I want to see from England. Don't expect them to score 4 or 5 goals against this New Zealand side, because they, under Darren Beardsley, are now ready for their first game. This is the team, more or less, that's going to start that first game for this New Zealand side. It's not the team that's going to potentially start for England.
Gordon down the left-hand side, cuts inside, might unleash a strike, he does. It'll fall for Ngamo in the penalty area on the right-hand side. A few step over, strike comes in, blocked away. As for the first half, as it falls for Anderson, doesn't unleash a strike, and are keeping New Zealand packed into their own penalty area. Livramento cuts inside, looks to float the ball into the box. Anderson always there, always just covering up there, isn't he? He's the Forest midfielder, of course. Again, he could be a player on the move. Out to Ngamo on the right hand side. Bellingham cuts inside on his left boot, pokes it out to Livramento, takes a touch on his right, out to Gordon. Cuts inside once again. Bellingham, a lot of space here for Livramento. Can he find a ball into the box? It's a packed penalty area. Gets too much on it, floats it over the head of Rio Ngamo. Quick step overs down the byline, cuts back. Can he find a teammate? Into the box again. The crosses in the start of the second half, just a little bit overhit. Away on as far as Gordon. Tony made a decent run there. I think he was going to be offside by the time that Gordon could have played it into him. Livramento. We spoke about it in the second half. I know it's in the first half, sorry. I know it's a different level, but very heavily left-sided orientated are England. Oh, it does make it all the way to the right-hand side, as I do say that Ngamo. Very lively, box it forward looking for Bellingham, deflected away. James. Anderson. Into the space for Ngamo. Again, trying to move it quickly here. Anderson, first time ball comes in. It is blocked away. And is he just stripped up there by Singh? Looks like he knows what he's doing now. Anderson gets his body in front of him, just takes a clip of the heels, and he wants a free kick for his side. And again, I think what you pointed out was actually a very, very good point, is that this New Zealand side in preparation are more prepared than England. They've had the minutes under them against Haiti, whereas England, this is their first friend. I think you're looking more at the performance maybe against Costa Rica. That's where you might be a little bit more critical. But as we spoke about half-time, if you don't understand what these friendlies are by now, you are tending to be a little bit overcritical. It's the first friendly, accept it for what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, and don't get worked up about it is the honest thing, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The main thing is nobody gets injured. You go into it with a bit of confidence. You want to get a win because nobody wants to lose games at this particular scenario. But beyond that, there's not a lot you can read into these matches. So I think England fans just chill out.
Into the box from that free kick. I believe there was a foul in the middle. Looks to be a free kick for New Zealand, about just inside their own penalty area, give or take. Just an update on a few scores elsewhere in the live games, at least. Cape Verde won them up against Bermuda. Bolivia, they're 4-0 down to Scotland. Again, Scotland, I assume because the BFB played Saturday night, there'll be the thing of, Scotland won 4-0, England only won 1-0, 2-0. Scotland are more stronger 11, they're a little bit further on in their preparation. So again, that's got to be something played into effect. Of course, there's a few games later on, for example, Brazil, Egypt, that are on later this evening. But the other game on at the same time as us, Bolivia versus Scotland. The Scots are 4-2 the good day. It's 1-0 to England, just over 10 minutes into this second half. A lot of possession so far for England, probably approaching good 70-75% in the second half alone, probably more 80 to 85. O'Reilly trying to drive forward, go back instead to Gordon. And as well, when you look at this squad, it's then again, as we spoke on the first half, it's a long tournament. You want to have different players for different teams. I can imagine if we've got against a team who have a lot of possession, Jordan Henderson makes a lot of sense because he can spray those passes out. When we're a team where you need energy, Elliot Anderson is a perfect player for that. So it's picking players that you can put into different 11s that will work well.
Yeah, and what we've seen from Thomas Tuchel is he's looking for balance. You know, it may not be what everybody thinks is the best player in that position. It may not be the scenario. There's one or two you kind of think, okay, fair enough. Not a massive fan, but you know, there's a rhyme and a reason that you can read into every player being in this squad. You might not agree with every choice. I don't think any England manager or any World Cup manager, apart from the tiny nations who only have a small number of players to choose from, beyond that, there are always debates about 2 or 3 players in a squad. You know, you accept that, but what you see from Thomas Tuchel is it looks like we've got a nice balance to this team. It's a good solid side defensively for me, and as you say, there are options around. As England pick up a free kick here just outside the area, Natalie Simon blowing the whistle for the challenge by Sermon, just on the edge of the box. A nice set piece opportunity. Reece James, I'm slightly surprised, he's the only man over this one at the moment. Now, interesting to see whether he can get a shot in and keep the ball down, because nobody else in a red shirt has so far.
No, they've always got on the ball, haven't they, the strikes and goal. I think as well, maybe the team that played in the first half, you've got the Rashford over, you've got Kane over it, Rodgers would have a bit of a look at it, wouldn't he? But it is on the left-hand side, it's very close, it's a couple of yards outside, maybe 5 yards, maybe more actually, on the left-hand side, just outside the penalty area. One of them where it is difficult to get it up and over the wall. James strikes it straight into the wall. Gordon picks it up on the rebound, sprays it out to the right, and Gamoa drives into the penalty box. Few step overs once again. Needs some support. A great play from Ngamoa, but that's like watching that for the third time this second half already. Anderson into James. Of course, again, you spoke about fitness. That'll be something for Reece James if he can play. It's a similar situation to a John Stones. If he can play, I'm sure he starts, but managing minutes, not managing fitness is something that you've got to always be looking at a World Cup. O'Reilly back to Anderson. They could be teammates, as I said. A big offer apparently from the Etihad's coming for Anderson. O'Reilly, lovely back heel into Livramento, and the Newcastle man might be able to pick a pass forward. Instead he plays it flat and straight to Bellingham. He'll pick out Gordon. Overlapping run from Bellingham. The Newcastle man finds the man with the armband on Bellingham. Few going left, going right. He's got Gordon in a good area. Nice ball to an underlapping Livramento. Looks like I thought he might have been offside. He stopped as if he thought he was offside. England, it is a very slow pace. Again, it's something that we expected. Ball forward for Tony into the penalty area. Is he clipped? Referee does point to the spot. There will be a question of offside. Yes, he is. So it would have been a penalty, but Tony just made that run a little bit too early. I like, though, that Tony has made 2 or 3 runs like that. Yes, it's just a little bit off, but maybe a bit more practice, a bit more chemistry as we're going to watch it back. It's close, but probably just offside. Very close.
Yeah, it looks like he's offside. I'll be honest with you, I think Tony initiates the contact as well on this one. I'm not sure how much contact there really is on Ivan Toney on that occasion. It's really tight, but I think it's a good call by the assistant on that far side. It will be checked. We've got VAR in operation, so they will have a look at it. I don't really like the New Zealand players getting around the referee, because obviously she hasn't given the goal, given the penalty because of the change in terms of the flag going up on that far side. So no need to get in the face of the referee, particularly in a friendly as well. But anyway, let's gloss over that. There's going to be changes for New Zealand. Looks like for the moment, there's 3 or 4 players as we'd probably expected come over to the sideline. Started off again yet. Still checking this one, I think. Although we seem to be, Natalie Simon seems to be nodding ahead and having a chat with Jude Bellingham, who's come across for a little discussion. Looks like substitutions are the main scenario now for the referee to deal with rather than anything else. The screen still says that the VAR check is going on, but the changes are starting to come. We're going to see Old, we're going to see Randall as well. And, 3, looks like we've also got Tyler Bindon, isn't it? I think the Sheffield United man who's come over. I think they are just the 3 from what I can see. Just waiting to see who's actually gone off at the moment. We'll tidy that up for you in a second or two, but offside given, confirmed, everything checked, and off we go again for this game. Looks like Bell is certainly one of those that has gone off. Joe Bell, the Viking player, and the confirmation on the screen that the VAR check is finished, and so it will just be offside against England, and off we go.
Yeah, apologies about that. As we say, with England's half-time, it was a full 11, a little bit easier to see, whereas we definitely know that Tyler Bindon, Jesse Randall and Benjamin Old have come on. It's more the question of who's gone off. Looks like Liberato Kakache, the Wrexham left-back's gone off for Old, and then for the other 2 players, we'll just wait for full confirmation. Garbutt, he's another player who went off, and I believe, as you correctly point out, looks as if Bell has gone off as well. So that is the triple change. Payne's gone out as well, according to our broadcasters. Bindon's on for him. So we didn't see that one, but Payne is off, and Bindon is on for him. Kakache off, Old on, and according to our broadcasters, it'll be Randall on and Garbutt off, but looks like we did see Joe Bell leave, so we'll wait for an update on that. I'm trying to see, can we see a number 6 on his back out there? Again, when they make them in the second half, you don't always see the boards go up, you don't always see the numbers, so we're relying on the broadcasters, but for now, it was only 3 players that came on as well, so we're assuming that. But again, for New Zealand, as you said, they're more prepared, they're more in a situation of they're happy with who's come on and who's going to be coming off. And according to a couple of websites we use, it's used to's come off for Randall. So give us a couple of minutes and we'll completely confirm who's gone off and who's come on. But again, for these New Zealand players coming on, they're still fighting for a spot. As you said, the team that started the game and started the second half, it's most likely 11. But this is their last chance to say to the boss, look, no, I deserve to start that first game.
Yeah, and I think Darren Paisley is playing it right, isn't he? You want to play like this is the first game of the tournament, really. And all right, you'll give players minutes, and you'll probably take players off a little earlier than maybe you would have done before. But fundamentally, you're saying, okay, this is more or less my starting 11, subject to any late change. But fundamentally, this is going to be my starting point, and we'll play the substitutions at least to begin with, more or less as we would expect to be during the game. We've gone past the hour mark. They've made the 3 subs, no injuries, therefore they can do that from a simple point of view. You'd expect quite a few subs late on as well, more than you would normally have, of course. But I think I'm looking at this. I think Darren Paisley is playing this at least for the first 75 minutes is going to be normal match as far as he's concerned, and then maybe, as you say, 1 or 2 will get taken off in addition to what he would normally have up his sleeve, of course, for the changes later on as England come forward.
Ball put forward, looking for Tony, can't get on the end of it, and swept up by the goalkeeper Crocombe, and it will be in his hands. As Steve's already said, we are over an hour into the game, closing into the 65th minute. Of course, in a few minutes we'll have the hydration break, so not far off of that. Could see more changes then as well. Just watching that replay back as New Zealand pump it long, and it's straight into the feet of Dan Burn-Conzo. He hasn't had too many touches as the Villa man. And again, you look at this 11, as you said about putting players in positions. Anderson, for me, can he play that lone defensive midfielder? Yes, he can. Is he better maybe supporting Jude Bellingham? I would say yes. Again, as you've already spoken about the Arsenal players, Declan Rice is to come back into this, Bukayo Saka. So, unfortunately for England and a lot of top nations, again, Portugal would have had a Vitinha and a João Neves missing, for example. You are waiting on players coming in, so then you've got to adapt your preparations for the friendlies to then adapt into the first game, of course, for England. So Thomas Tuchel might go, right, I want Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side. Ooh, but Anthony Gordon really impressed me in these friendlies, so that can make it very awkward. I'll bring Stephen in just a moment as New Zealand whip a ball into the box, out of play for a goal kick. So it will be a goal kick for England coming up. But that'll be the thing, isn't it? That some players can impress where other players are waiting to even come into the camp.
Yeah, it's certainly the likelihood in that sense is you're looking at who will play in each area. So you set it, as you say, slightly tweaked it here a little bit, but fundamentally it's more or less the same lineup. It's a case of, okay, how are we going to play if we don't have somebody out and out in terms of that striker? You're dropping 2 in behind him, perhaps rather than 3 as it was in that first half. But Tony's still pushing further forward, as it looks like at the moment. I think it's looking like 3 behind him, although Bellingham's a little deeper perhaps than those were. So it's just tweaking things around. It's trying something a little bit different as well, but fundamentally we're more or less in the same position from an English point of view. And then, as you say, who fits in where, doesn't it? Who can play in those different areas, and you've got some flexibility with 1 or 2 of them within this squad. So that's good. Just to say as well, Alex Rufer came on. We didn't see that on our screens, but he replaced Bell. Said I thought that Joe Bell had gone off, which he did. So that was the other substitution in this second half. Rufer on for Bell.
Can't wait for some more substitutions, just to confuse us that little bit more. Right hand side, Ngamo looking to get past Old. Of course, that's a new full-back for the young Liverpool winger to take on. Instead, he goes back to James and keeps possession with Konza into Dan Burn. Of course, maybe Konza is someone that if Stones isn't fit, he would maybe be the likely contender to partner Gahey. To left hand side for Livramento, 1-on-1 up against his defending winger Anderson. Drives forward, picks out Bellingham, and again, Bellingham is a player you probably think would be starting, sitting with an Anderson, but as Steve said, it's almost 2-11s, but just get minutes in the legs. This isn't maybe where you're going to start your Livramento. You might be my starting right back, for example, but you're going to play at left back to get minutes in the legs. O'Reilly, he might be the starting left back, who knows. Great season for the Citizens. Livramento cuts inside, still keeps hold of the ball, pokes it back to Anderson. He's going to go for a strike, takes a few deflections. New Zealand there asking for a handball. I do believe the referee will go with that's a free kick about on the edge of the penalty area for New Zealand, and I do believe that just as we're into the 68th minute, about it 68 on the clock, as it will be a free kick, the referee has said, you know what, good time, we're nearly halfway through the second half, it's a good time for the hydration break. And again, it is England 1, New Zealand 0. Warm welcome if you are joining us. You're not going to miss anything for the next 2 or 3 minutes as there is this hydration break. And well, the one thing that's disappointed me, Steve, is we saw Harry Kane score. It is England 1, New Zealand 0, but we didn't see any of that pyro go off from the pirate ship. That's been a disappointment.
Bitterly disappointed by that, if I'm like, poor effort really from the organisers in Tampa. I expect more. You want to see it. We know what happens. You score a touchdown, it goes off. The cannons go off. So I expect a goal, cannons, nothing, absolutely nothing. Very disappointing that from Tampa. Just looking around the stadium now that we've got the chance to see it properly. Top tier of the stadium, not in use this afternoon as you'd expect. It's a rather odd kind of scenario in Tampa. You've got the 2 big stands on either side behind the posts, we'll say, where the pirate ship is. Under the big screen is a much smaller stand then that runs across the back of the stadium with a large one at the other end. So it's kind of almost a 3-sided stadium as some of the ones in the US are. For the NFL teams. No roof on it, of course, not always needed in Tampa until the thunderstorms come in August, September, which we hope will try and miss a little bit for this tournament. And that will be a key thing, of course, as the weather goes on, as to how that will affect and impact on the tournament in some of the more warmer southern areas of the US. But from England point of view, this second spell, it's very much like how the first half started. The one thing we haven't seen is any attacking from New Zealand at all this time. We did see a couple of early chances for the All Whites, but so far in this game they've not been forward at all. England have dominated the possession, so the rest of the half has been very much like the first period, very similar. One difference, I suppose, is no real clear-cut chances from open play. I mean, Dan Burns hit the post, but that was obviously from the set-piece opportunity. So from Thomas Tuchel's point of view, I think that's what he would like to have seen. As I just noticed on the sideline, they brought over a couple of big fans. I don't mean supporters, I mean literally fans, onto the sideline to help the players cool down a bit from both sides. I'm not sure if that's something we'll see all along. Seeing the offside lines now finally from that decision against Ivan Toney. and yet just offside, just leaning a little bit too far in. But tight, and a pretty good run from Tony into the area. As I said, I'm still not sure there was enough contact really to justify a penalty, but I don't think it would have been overruled by VAR because there was contact after Natalie Simon had given the decision, but the flag quite rightly up.
Well, I think you're right, watching it back especially, he leaves his right leg and then it gets caught, but that's him initiating the contact, as you rightfully said. So after that break, we are just about to get underway. Is a free kick for New Zealand, of course. As well, unfortunately, I was just double checking because again about the pirate ship, it's not hosting any World Cup games.
No, we don't know.
Raymond James. In terms of Florida, it will be the Miami Stadium. That is the Florida part, if you will, where the Dolphins play, the great Miami Dolphins. I must say, I know Steve will disagree with me there.
I will wholeheartedly disagree, but that's because I go back to the Dan Marino, Joe Montana days, and you probably don't even know who they are.
No, I've watched Ace Ventura once or twice, so I've heard of that Dan Marino guy, that quarterback guy.
Two legends, two absolute legends.
Exactly.
But Joe Montana was obviously better, goes without saying.
I won't argue that fact. I won't even try to argue that one. We are back underway, just over halfway through the second half. Of course, that 2-3 minute stoppage, very similar to the first half. It'll just get added on to the second half stoppage time. 72 minutes on the clock. It is independent off Tube Studio commentary. It's England 1, New Zealand 0. And take us through to full time. Pass you up to Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. So it's like Scotland have declared as well in their game. Still 4-0 against Bolivia, and all those goals came in the first half. England back underway, attacking the pirate ship end. I'll just say Montana has the rings, Marino doesn't. That's all you need to know. As the ball is picked up on the halfway line, and it will be Concert in possession. Nowhere to go though for him at the moment. Just turns back inside. Since England played in the US, you have to go back to 2014 when they were preparing for the World Cup in Brazil. Well, let's gloss over the World Cup in Brazil, quite frankly, from an England point of view, but did play games in the US to prepare for that tournament. Harry Kane's goal separating the two sides. 11-11 for Harry Kane. Not a bad record, is it really? As you said, Lewis, way up into the 70s now. It's under 12s kind of football this season from Harry Kane in terms of the volume of goals scored. Just the one this afternoon/evening. That's enough for the England captain. He's sat on the bench along with all those who started that first half for Thomas Tuchel's side. Here's O'Reilly, who keeps drifting into a more central position. He's not really playing out on the left-hand side. He's more playing like a left-sided central midfielder as Gordon tries to drive forward, falls over the ball, but the ball still breaks for him. He pulls it back, looking for O'Reilly, but Tony takes it off him, comes back to Bellingham. His attempted shot is charged down by Sermon. Takes a real rattle on the ankle for that one, but his side eventually win a throw-in. But a first chance for Bellingham to get that strike in.
And that was really good from Gordon. It was just direct, wasn't it? Running at your man, and this is no offence to Tino Livramento. When he's run at the full-back or one of the players, he's not... Oh, he's a full-back, isn't he? Yes, I think he's a tricky full-back running. But you want Gordon, the dribbling, the left right, similar to Marcus Rashford in the first. That's who you want running out of them. And that was great from Gordon. Again, watching it back, I don't know if O'Reilly's getting there, can take a sweet strike, but Tony definitely takes it off of him. And then Bellingham almost goes, yeah, let me have a strike at goal. And I do feel this is what a lot of people are going to say with this type of football, isn't it? That just have a shot. I do think there's a few times where a few players have just pulled the trigger. Kane did it in the first half. England had a lot more players in that first half happy to pull the trigger. Rashford, Rodgers. Whereas in this half, not as many shots have come in because these are players, they're more creators. Though I think Gordon's cut in a few times, and I'm just thinking he's going to have a shot or he plays it back. And you spot on, it's a friendly, doesn't matter. But it's just also that it's that mentality that if that's in a competitive game, what would he do? And Gamal wins the ball. Here come England.
O'Reilly again in that central area, quickly closed down, but forces it out towards Gordon, corner of the box. Again, he miscontrols though, really, and has the ball whipped off him by Bindon, and forward come New Zealand up towards the halfway line. Shoots the Motherwell man, picks up possession, finds the championship player Tyler Bindon, who can't keep possession of the ball this time as Livramento wins it back for England, finds Bellingham. O'Reilly and Bellingham have virtually stood next to each other in the middle. That's one of the things I'm slightly confused by at the moment in this second half. I'm sure there is method in that particular scenario, but I'm struggling to work out what it is at the moment because England feel a little narrow in this second half. Clearly something that Thomas Tuchel is playing around with here as O'Reilly picks up possession now, finds Bellingham, tries to force it into the path of Tony, but He's marshalled by a couple of defenders, and New Zealand should be able to clear, although England are pressing quite high in this second half, a little higher perhaps than they did in the first period, which is interesting in itself. As Livramento has it. Bellingham now in the Baker Mayfield role in midfield. Rolls it over onto that right-hand side, and Gamoa. Part of the World Cup squad, but getting an experience with the first team as he drives into the penalty area, forces the corner. I think Gamoa has been what Gamoa does. He's lively, he's energetic, full of step overs, and not afraid to drive at a defender, which is good to see.
Oh, it's fantastic, and he's just, as you said, it's that young mindset, isn't it? That he wants to get on the ball, he wants to drive at his defender. Definitely Gordon wants to do the same thing, but because Gamoa is on his favoured foot, he wants to beat his man and put a ball into the box, whereas Gordon wants to go for a strike at goal. There is a corner coming in, but looks like there's going to be a double substitution coming up in just a minute for New Zealand. Looks to be Frances de Vries as well as looking possibly. Double check on the second substitution. They're trying to look at numbers here, there, and everywhere. It won't be until this corner has come in, but a double change is imminent for the Kiwis.
I think it might be Barbarouses who's coming on as well with him, but we'll check that in a moment as England take the corner kick then. Free header again for Dan Burn. It comes off a defender. He heads in towards goal. It's amazing how these massive central defenders seem to be invisible at times to this New Zealand defence. First half it was John Stones who found himself unmarked from a corner. This time it's Dan Burn. And Dan Burn is not the kind of player that you can miss in a bright red shirt in the middle of the penalty area. But anyway, New Zealand struggled to find him. 13 minutes left on the clock then. England 1, New Zealand 0. Gamoa again finds his way blocked by two defenders, but he lifts the ball in towards the far post. A little bit too much on it this time. He was looking for the run of Ivan Toney, who puts the thumbs up to his young winger to acknowledge the fact that it wasn't a bad effort, but it just drifted a little bit too far, as those substitutions are now going to come. So De Vries will be the first of them. This time we do see who's coming off. It's the Motherwell man, Eli Just, who comes over to this near side, and De Vries will make his way over. A little bit of shuffling around, it looks like, for New Zealand. Chris Wood, job done for him. He's got 78 minutes into his legs. Say he will head off the field. Barbarouses will be the man who will come on in his place. So fairly straightforward swap between those two. As the Wanderers man comes on up front for New Zealand. And Chris Wood looked lively first half. Impressed as usual by him in terms of how he played. You know what you can expect from him, but he does it well.
He doesn't. There was that one. It was that one opportunity, really, wasn't it, where it was floated into the back post, and you thought, "Oh, if that falls from kindly, he's got a big opportunity." And what he is as well is he's a presence up top, isn't he? He can almost as well act as that. I think was it a time when he played that reverse pass into Houston? It was almost Spence got caught ball watching because it's Chris Wood. He's more bothered about what Chris Wood's going to do. And he just seemed to go, oh, there goes my runner, and it's a lovely ball in for him. And he's quite underrated in that playmaking, and he's a very good passer of the ball for what he is. And yes, it's not a one-man team, but he is the main man for New Zealand, and he'll be ready for that first game of the group stages.
Yeah, De Vries with the free kick for New Zealand from the halfway line. It's headed up in the air off a England head. Trafford can't keep it in because the ball loops behind the line before the Manchester City keeper can clutch the ball. And therefore there will be a set piece now to defend for England. First time they've had to deal with this scenario, and New Zealand are going for the Arsenal look. 5 players beyond the far post, all inside the 6-yard box. No surprises on this occasion. Watch them all run across the 6-yard box. I bet that's what happens here.
Get ready. It's like the Buccaneers apple. Here, go there.
It is, yeah. We know what's coming here, but you've got to watch. No grappling, please, gentlemen. As the ball is whipped in under the crossbar, it's headed up in the air. Nobody can get there. Referee's given a foul for a bit of grappling inside the 6-yard box, which is interesting in itself. Natalie Simon giving the free kick as the ball came in. That means the grappling or pushing was while the ball was in play, not before, of course. So 10 minutes to go then of the 90, plus will be at least, you would think, 5 minutes of stoppage time. Darren Beasley just in discussion with the fourth official about that decision, I think, just clarifying what it was actually given for. But I say we didn't see anything obvious in there, but Natalie Simon did, and that's what counts. Darren Beasley, former Watford, Wolves and Walsall player in his time in England. As ball spins away for New Zealand with a pass forward looking towards Barbarouses is a little too far. Trafford able to pick it up and balls it out on this left-hand side. New Zealand were playing Group G. Belgium, Iran and Egypt are their 3 opponents. I suppose they will look at the Iran game as the key one. I thought Iran, a few people tipping them to look like a decent side from their qualifying campaign, but of course the problems that they've had to face in terms of the scenario they find themselves in, how much impact that will have when they finally make their way to the US. Looks like visas are sorted for players at least, but some complaints about other things that will be dealt with over the next couple of days. Here comes Gordon across the field, challenges come in. Ball spins away towards Ungamorov on that right-hand side. James goes on the overlap, but the Liverpool man comes back inside, finds Bellingham. Lovely turn from him, closed down on the edge of the box, forced it into the path of O'Reilly, who tries to backheel it towards Livramento. Poor clearance by the New Zealand defence. Only finds Bellingham again, who gets way underneath the kick. He pulls his shirt over his face in frustration. So again, that was potentially a good opportunity.
It was, but very similar to the first half that you pointed out. Getting underneath the ball, Rashford did it a few times, didn't he? Manu did it as well. I mean, it was lovely quick feet there from Bellingham. It's a nice pass, rolls it into O'Reilly, and O'Reilly's trying to keep the play alive. Could he have first time hit that with his left foot with an all-driven effort? Looks like another quadruple change here for New Zealand coming up, and just as obviously we're about to write down the names and numbers, it of course goes back to the replay, so it's not going to be made just yet, but in preparation there will be a quadruple change coming up. Unless it is made now, because there is the backup goalkeeper coming on as well. No, it isn't. The game is going to continue, so that'll probably be the next time the ball's out of play. 5 substitutions to be made for New Zealand. But again, to speak about players who go for a shot, Bellingham probably is one of the players, isn't he, that we know he likes a shot. He's got a great strike on him, so it's not saying he's a selfish striker. It's just, I look at Gordon, I think he wants to create more. Ngamoa does as well. O'Reilly does. You need someone who's just going to go, right, I'll have a shot then. You need someone like that, and Bellingham is one to do that, and that's really his first one, and as you say, a little bit frustrated with the outcome, as you would expect.
Yeah, it looks like Alex Paulson is the goalkeeper who's going to come on. There were 2 options on the bench, of course, for Darren Paisley. But Paulson, who's on loan from Bournemouth, playing at Lecce on the last season. He will at least get the last 5 minutes or so, just to get his name on the New Zealand team sheet. A number of others as well. McCowat is certainly there. Elliott is on the sideline as well for the All Whites as they play a long ball forward. It's a good ball in towards the penalty area, just over hitting the end. Trafford able to scamper out before Randall could get himself on the end of that, but just for a second looked like there was some space. In fact, the flag was up over on that far side. So here come the changes. McCowat will be the first one to come on. Singh will be replaced. Max Crocombe, the Millwall goalkeeper, heads off. So as I said, he will be replaced by Alex Paulson. Bayliss on as well for Stamanic. And Finn Sermon, who took a little bit of a twisted ankle when he blocked a shot from outside the area in those first few minutes, will head off as well. Haven't then seen who's coming on for him, and it looks like Michael Boxall, the Minnesota United man, who applies his trade in the MLS, is another one to come off. But again, we didn't see the players coming on, unfortunately, in that scenario, so we'll tidy that up. McCowat, Elliott, Paulson, Bayliss certainly look like they are 4, and if we spot any others, we'll tell you, is the honest answer at the moment. Another flurry of substitutions get finished off. So looking at this, I think I've just got Matt Garbutt left on the field, who started of the starting 11. Although again, he may have disappeared and we haven't seen him actually go off in this second half. Panacker has come on as well. He's another change, as I say, we didn't see on our screens, but according to the graphics, he has come on the field. So 5 changes in total. 9-11. So that means Garbutt must have gone off then now. He was the missing man. So it's a complete change to the starting lineup then for New Zealand. They've finally got their 11 swapped over with 5 minutes of the 90 to go. I'm only doing that through my adding up. I've got 11 players written down as substitutes, and therefore 11 must have gone off, and we've got no injuries. So New Zealand swapping everything around. Vanaki picks up the foul against him for the challenge on Tony. And it will be a free kick to England, just inside their own half of the field. Ivan Tony wanders off, no major damage. And England will play on with the free kick. And I think that's just a case of, as we said, as I suspected, Darren Paisley playing the first 75 minutes or so in kind of real life, and then going into FIFA mode for the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, 100%. And you can imagine that might be how England players have come forward with Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon drives away down the left-hand side, gets the shot in. Paulson gets his gloves warmed up at least. Comfortable positioning for Alex Paulson. Got his footwork right, got himself in line of the ball and made what in the end was a comfortable save. But we said about Gordon wanting him to maybe drive in, maybe look a little bit more positive, and we saw it there.
That's what you want from Gordon, and that's what you get from Rashford as well, don't you, down the left-hand side there. I say he's more of a creator, but he does have a lot of goals from the wing, and he can play striker as well from Gordon. But that's what I like to see, that he was cut inside direct. So many times in the second half he's cut inside and then gone further inside, and then he was dispossessed, so he goes back. It's quick, it's direct, it's really good from Gordon. That's what I expect from the new Barcelona man. And again, he'll have something to prove to Hansi Flick this summer, of course, won't he? This is why he spent so much money on me and not my England teammate Marcus Rashford. But yeah, this is how New Zealand have played this game with the subs. I'd expect this from Thomas Tuchel against Costa Rica, 60, 70 minutes, as you're saying. Then it'll be a whole 11 change, but in short spurts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's usually the path of the friendlies before the World Cup. If you're old enough to remember about the last 10 World Cups, like I am, you've seen it numerous times over the years. Nothing to get worked up about, as long as there's no injuries, as long as it's a comfortable victory in the end, that's all you're looking for. And it has been a comfortable victory for England, really. Yes, okay, you look at it and say, well, it's only 1-0. They've not scored a bagful, but they've not really been threatened at all by a New Zealand side getting ready for their first game. This challenge comes in on that occasion. It will be a free kick for the foul by Bayliss on Ungamoa. 10 yards inside the New Zealand half. Reece James wanders forward to take it. Way to go. New Zealand were unbeaten, of course, in the last World Cup. 3 draws in the end. Not really enough to move forward in the tournament, but they will look to build on that and get through to the knockout stages for the first time. As we say, they've got Belgium, Iran and Egypt to play, as James lifts the free kick then in towards the penalty area. Byrne tries to win the header, but this time he's beaten and New Zealand have possession. Bellingham battles for it, can't get the ball back, and then O'Reilly gets involved. As New Zealand struggling to get out of their own defensive third. Cowart loses possession, but the referee pulls England back for a free kick as the ball came forward through those central areas. See a replay of Harry Kane's goal in the first half. Lovely curling ball in from Jed Spence. And a nice little header from Kane. A nice positive for England in that first half.
Yeah, ended it on a nice note as well, didn't it? That's exactly what. That's the quality that we know is there. It's just about putting it on display, isn't it? It was a lovely ball, and as you say, Kane knew exactly what to do with the header. Just cushion it. The momentum's on the ball. I just need to guide it into the bottom corner. As well, you see, Ollie Watkins was a bit behind him, so maybe that puts pressure on. But it was getting players in the box as well, and that's what you need to do when you're playing like that. And again, England, because they're one of the latter groups, they won't be playing competitive for a few weeks. There's maybe a chance here for New Zealand.
Yeah, ball spins across the edge of the penalty area. New Zealand throwing 1 or 2 players forward in these latter stages. Why not, you would say, as well, as Elliott rolls the ball inside. McCowan turns away from the attempted challenge of Tony. Does get a shot in, but it's blocked on the edge of the area. Comes back to McCowan again. Is he brought down? No, says the referee. Play continues. That will be a foul, though. The challenge on Bellingham. He takes a quick free kick. Finds Gordon on this left-hand side, up over the halfway line as we tick towards the 90-minute mark. Say probably 5 or 6 minutes of substitutions time to be taken because of the substitutions. And if you want to prove that we do know what we're talking about, Scotland were 4-0 up against Bolivia at half time. It's still 4-0. 10 substitutions in the second half of Steve Clarke's side. Eventually 4 minutes of stoppage time. I was a minute off in that sense, but I think everybody's got a plane to catch after this game, so nobody's going to play on for too long.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, we do need to play the minutes, but being a friendly, if they'd have called it at 90 minutes, that wouldn't have shocked me either, just because it is a friendly. When it is competitive, there is certain restrictions you do have to abide by it, don't you? But you're right, that's Scotland almost saying, right, this is our first 11, impressive first half. Second half, because there's subs and there's this and that, yeah, you're 4-0 up as well. So if England would have been 3-0 up in the first half, I think they might have gone for it a bit more, because it's different 11s of proving point, isn't it? But as you say, England, it's a win, bonus, clean sheet, that's another bonus. No injuries, as you said. Roll on to the Costa Rica game, where that's where you would want a little bit better of a performance, and maybe expectations would be higher. But look, if England win all 3 group games and go on and it's in good style, people will quickly forget this evening's game.
Yeah, Conster's just been caught a little bit here, just tried to turn inside. McCowat's foot just caught him. It's a stinger on the top of the foot, no, purely accidental by the New Zealand man. He's there to help the England defender back up onto his feet. No permanent damage done. Only a couple of minutes left. I think I found the lowest team in the football pyramid around the side. Works Uptown is the flag that I've seen. I think that's the lowest one. I may be wrong. I could be proved wrong, but that's the one I've found so far from the non-league. As England play forward here, ball in towards Tony inside the penalty area, but he can't force it home. Really good chance for Ivan Toney. Not sure if the flag stayed down. He found a little seam in between defenders. Now the flag was actually up anyway. Spares his blushes to some extent. Yeah, he's well offside as the ball comes in. But that has got to end up in the back of the net.
Oh, it has. That's a really big chance. And what you would say is, if he's a bit more onside, it probably falls kinder for him than where it was. And Reece James, he puts it into a great area, or maybe if it was a bit higher, he can nod it in the back of the net. And again, this isn't trying to criticise the Saudi league. He's had a great season gold-wise, and I think he should be going to America as he is. But again, what's the minutes been like? Will he adapt well to the weather? He's been playing in very hot, humid conditions in Saudi Arabia. So, but is he been playing at the level that Harry Kane's been playing at? You'd probably say no. So, but again, what I like about Thomas Tuchel, you said in the first half perfectly, balance. They're all, Watkins is different to Kane in a good way. Kane's different to Tony. They all bring different attributes. It's not like, okay, these are 3 strikers, but they're all the same. What if we come up against this defensive? They all bring different options, and look, Tony, he'll want to do better from that, but again, it's friendly, so you learn from that.
Absolutely. Ivan Toney, one of the players finding it a little chilly in Florida this afternoon. As the ball rolled into the path of James then, right hand edge of the box, tries to pull it back. He was looking for Bellingham, but got it behind the Real Madrid man, and New Zealand will clear over onto that far side. Oldest challenge by James. It comes off the Chelsea man and on a play for a throw in. 3 minutes of the 4 being played. We're into the final few seconds. In fact, England have been given the throw. The assistant had given it the opposite way, but England take it. And it has been noticeable that throw-ins have been swiftly taken, substitutions have been swiftly made this afternoon. The message has got through to the players about the time-wasting regulations for this World Cup that starts on Thursday, of course, and we'll be bringing you that on this service throughout the whole tournament. Some late night jobs for everybody into the wee small hours as the ball is back for Reece James. Cross from him towards the near post. He's hooked away. Comes back to Ungamoa. One last chance perhaps for England to double their lead. They scored just before the end of the first half. That will be a foul by Ungamoa. And it will be a free kick to New Zealand that may bring the game to an end, and it does. That is the last action. So Harry Kane's goal is the one that separates the two sides at full time. A steady workout for England under the sun in Tampa. It finishes England 1, New Zealand 0.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary